Hey guys, welcome to Rantoinette's Lawn Maintenance. I have been outside raking all day long. Sorry it's been a couple of days since I've done an episode. I've been traveling. I'm down here visiting my family in Virginia and doing a little Thanksgiving. Here, I'll show you, just for shits and giggles. I have been raking my ass off. I'm not a very good filmographer, but it's a lot of acreage. You see, I have been busy. Got lots of stuff to do. Anyway, enough of that mishigas. I just wanted to show you that I felt a little accomplished today. Some of the things that I've done. Anyway, I left on Friday, so I didn't have a chance to see what was going on. Well, I did see what was going on Friday, but I was driving on Friday, so I missed the opportunity to go through all of the stuff that happened on Friday. It was just, Jesus Christ, so much shit. I just want to get into just like a couple of things, just keep it simple. I had to talk about the Zohran and Trump meeting. My God, man. Zohran rizzed him up. I don't think I have seen a better politician since Obama, honestly. And I'm just giving Obama credit for being a good politician, not about his politics, but just the way that Mamdani handled it. And look, I'm hearing some people on the left out there saying that he shouldn't have gone and done it. And I need you guys to come to grips with something. Donald Trump, we don't like him, but he is the president, man. And, Zohran doesn't really have a whole lot of choice in the matter. And, we're looking at a president who is threatening to take away funding and treat New York City like Cuba. It's not good. And the fact that Zohran, he didn't ask to be summoned. He volunteered. He called up Trump and was like, hey, let's meet. Let's talk. And, Zohran, it's obvious he's very charming. But here's the thing, Trump, he loves a winner. Look, he loves New York. Honestly, Donald Trump wishes that New York still loved him. That's the thing that he's probably saddest about, is that New York doesn't love him. But Zohran showed up there and was like, hey, look, I talked to voters in the city that voted for you. And immediately Trump's like, oh, you're talking to my voters and they like me? And Zohran got him to make a comparison to Bernie Sanders, which was really impressive. He's like, hey, I got a lot of Bernie Sanders voters. I don't know if he got a lot of Bernie Sanders voters, but he definitely got his fair share. And Trump loves that kind of crossover stuff. He also, in the past, Donald Trump mentioned that Bernie would have been a much more worthy adversary to Trump than Hillary Clinton was. And in fact, I think that that's the reason why he likes Zohran so much. Trump legitimately respects the game. That whole game recognizes game. And I think that Trump really does respect what Zohran was able to do. Come from 1% and defeat a dynasty. The Cuomo family name is a dynasty, and he whacks that ass. And Trump is really impressed. There was a moment that Donald Trump was looking up at Zohran with like this proud dad face, like the face that Don and Eric have been wanting their whole lives and have never gotten. But Zohran got it from Trump. I want to go through a couple of things. So one of the reporters asked Zohran, is like, are you, you've said it in the past, you call Trump a fascist. Do you really believe that? And before he even got a chance to answer, Trump just jumped right in front of that bullet and was like, it's okay. You can say it. And he's like, all right, yeah, I do, And he even touched him. Trump even touched him on the sleeve. That was impressive. And then one of the reporters asked Donald Trump if he thinks that Zohran is a jihadist. And Trump is like, no, I met with the guy. He's cool. He's chill. I think he really cares about New York City, which is amazing because we have a congresswoman named Stefanik here. And she used to be like a moderate Republican, and she has since just like kind of changed up her whole MO to be a MAGA, conservative. And she was going to run on this. Oh my God, she was going to run on this, that he was a communist jihadist. In fact, honestly, it's the entire Republican Party and also the centrists. You got to remember this. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries lost in this election that Zohran won. They lost. Their policies lost. And Donald Trump has no respect for Chuck and Hakeem. I mean, you saw he put the fucking sombrero on Hakeem's head. He trolled him with the 2028 hats in the Oval Office. He does not give a shit about them, but Trump was so cordial and kind. And I think that honestly, it's mutual respect. Donald Trump probably wants to take a little shine off of Mamdani because Mamdani's all about affordability. It's a new word that I came up with, affordability. And he's trying to get a little of that, that glow off of Zohran. But he loves a winner. And Trump I fell in love. That guy, he's got a great smile. Zohran has got great policies, and that's what I'm interested in. But he is amazing at politicking. What he did that day by volunteering, going there, talking to the man respectfully, wore a suit looking sharp. Donald Trump loves that shit. And don't think it didn't escape me that he wore the blue tie and Trump wore the red tie. I saw that shit. But anyway, there was another thing that I thought was really impressive. Stuff that never gets mentioned in the Trump White House. Trump was talking good about FDR because Zohran mentioned that he's like, hey, there's a portrait in there that you picked, Mr. Trump, that I really like. Oh, you like it? Oh, I picked that one out. I went down to the basement and I found that one. He's like, would you mind if I took a picture with it? And then re-mentioned it in the interview in the Oval about FDR, and Donald Trump's like, the people are talking about FDR. He's a great president. I'm hearing people say his name all the time. I just thought that, just masterful little stuff like that, using giving him respect. And here's the thing, I'm hearing a lot of Democrats out there who don't think that he should have gone in and talked with him. But by doing that, he is sparing us in the city ICE. Trump he was already asked earlier today if he was going to send ICE. He's like, I don't know. Maybe if they need it. But right now they're looking okay. So I'm not so worried about them. There's other places in the country that need it. And what Zohran has successfully done is he has moved from campaign mode where you are throwing all the arrows at your opponent, and he's moved into governing mode. And that's the thing. It's like somebody like Elise Stefanik. She wanted to campaign against Kathy Hochul for governor of New York. And now Donald Trump kind of took the wind out of their sails by saying, I don't think he's a jihadist. I don't think he's a communist. He's cool. They're going to have to rework their whole strategy. And it's amazing. Look, the Republicans are always getting their ass kicked. This 2026 election is coming up is going to be a fucking routing, which is why Marjorie Taylor Greene is getting out now. She's like the first rat to escape the sinking ship. We'll get to her in a minute, but he found the things that he and Donald Trump agreed on. Donald Trump loves building, so he's talking about building more housing. Donald Trump loved that. He's like, yeah, I like that idea. It's a great idea, One of the reporters asked Zohran is like, hey, do people in New York love Donald Trump? And look, ultimately, most New Yorkers do not like Donald Trump, but there are a few that voted for him. And instead of saying no, nobody in New York likes Donald Trump, he was like, the voters that did vote for Donald Trump said really great things, and it was all about bringing costs down and affordability. And Donald Trump just looks at him and he's like, man, that was a good answer. He respects the game, man. He really does. Let me see here. Oh God, Laura Loomer Laura Loomer, she put out a tweet that she was so sad. She was so broken. It was amazing. She's like, I don't understand what this means. Are socialists and communists and jihadists okay? Is that what we have now? Look, I'm not trying to soothe her or comfort her in this, but look, Donald Trump will go back to poking at Zohran. This is not going to be a permanent thing. Donald Trump loves to play the politics. He's very good at politicking, and he sees that in Zohran, and he sees him probably as some kind of foil, somebody to do battle against, but he's also he loves a winner, and Donald Trump wishes New York loved him. And so he's got a special place in his heart. He spent a lot of time here. He does have a special place in his heart for New York. And Donald Trump doesn't want to rock that New York City boat that hard. That's just my personal opinion. But Laura Loomer, she's like, do I have to rethink my whole world ideas? I don't understand anymore. She's like, Don, I know that we have like an open relationship and all, but not him. Oh my God, it was so good. Oh, conservative news. All the days leading up to, including the day of, it's like Trump versus socialism. It was like some battle royale wrestling nonsense. And after the meeting, he's like, oh, Donald Trump, he's a master negotiator, and he's, it's like bringing people together, and that's an amazing thing. And I mean, look, if y'all want to believe that, that's fine, that's great. But y'all had a whole narrative. Y'all were going to be dining on this for a year, going all the way up to the election, just screaming and yelling about this is Zohran's party, and he's a communist, jihadist, terrorist. And now you're not going to be able to do it because Donald Trump just fucked it up for you. I'm sorry. It sucks. It sucks to suck, but he totally did. Let me see here. Oh God, there was a moment in there where a reporter asked Zohran about the genocide in Gaza and what Israel is doing, and trying to goad him into saying something that's going to piss off Trump. And not only did he just do like a Heisman quarterback maneuver to get out of it, but he just followed it up with policy. And then he pivots to hungry New Yorkers, which is very good. And then he mentions about this shop in Queens, this pharmacy in Queens, where Donald Trump's dad used to go to, and he knows the owner of the place. And Donald Trump's like, wow, that's where my dad went. I mean, I'm not trying to say that he played Trump like a fiddle, but man, he worked him, man. He rizzed him up. The charm offensive, it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. Let me see here. He asked him about being a democratic socialist, and then he made this beautiful pivot into the FDR thing, and I thought that was great. And then he talked about New York needing housing, and Donald Trump was all about, yeah, absolutely, we definitely need more housing in New York. And then Zohran brought up Con Edison, and Donald Trump's like, yeah, we got to get those prices down. I mean, everybody else's prices are going down, even though that's not true. But he's like, everybody else's prices are going down. How come your prices are going up? And that had an effect on the stock market. Con Ed's or whatever, their valuation drops. It's amazing. It's amazing. I felt so goddamn hopeful. I mean, look, personally, I think that most Americans want the same things, and Zohran definitely understands that. He's got his finger on the pulse, so to speak. And look, Donald Trump does have one superpower. We all need to admit to it. Donald Trump knows how to get behind a winner. He does not lead the parade, but he sees where the parade is going and then jumps in front of it. That's his superpower. Look for a better term. He knows what's going to be the next cool thing. And he sees that Zohran is not just New York City popular. He is America popular. And personally, I think that all of this is such a good thing because we have been fighting the Republican Party for the last, 30, 40 years with centrism. and it always compromises and gets more and more right wing. It's like a tug of war. You don't want somebody in the middle tugging. You want one on the right, one on the left, and then you find out where the middle is. And we have been, fighting with one arm tied behind our back for such a long time, which is why this whole meeting was so devastating to people like Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries that want that amorphous middle ground that keeps migrating to the right. And I can see where this is not a good sign for either Chuck or Hakeem. The reporters asked Zohran about the genocide, and not only did he say, in the Oval, yeah, it is, but also managed to pivot that back to New York and New Yorkers and not get caught up in the mire, even though that these are questions, daggers that they're throwing at him. And he was just like, brushing them off. And Trump shook his hand a couple of times, was really proud, looked up at him like, God, I wish my son was this cool. I could see Don Jr. just crying into his, oh my God, I wish my dad loved me that much. It's fucking mwah, chef's kiss. It just made me incredibly happy to hear all about that and watch. And I've watched it. I've watched the thing like at least 3.5 times. It impresses me more every time. Just the political mastery of what Zohran did in that room. It cannot be understated. It really was impressive. Oh God, yeah. And then one of the reporters asked Donald Trump, he's like, would you feel comfortable living in, because you called him a jihadist, would you feel comfortable living in New York under a Mamdani mayorship? And Trump was like, oh yeah, no problem. He's great. I love him. And he's a good guy. We don't agree on everything, but I see that he's not a jihadist. He wants to help out New Yorkers, and that's all I want to do. I want to be the affordability guy, just like Mamdani. He sees Mamdani like Bernie. They're both outsiders. They're both bucking the system. He saw how Chuck and Hakeem and the centrist, what's that woman's name? Gillibrand, our senator here in New York, also our other senator, she called him, I think she did call him a jihadist or something like that, or a terrorist. And she's a Democrat, for God's sakes. And Donald Trump saw that, and it was like, I see that they came after me the same way. Now, of course, Donald Trump's looking at it from a completely different perspective, but at the same time, he sees that Mamdani went through the same shit that he did, and I think he sees a little bit of a kindred spirit. It was just really impressive all around. I'm so glad I got a chance to see that. Look, the left is on the rise, not the Democrats, the left. And they're all going to have to start getting on this page, It's not just affordability. It's also a single-payer healthcare system. It's also union support and higher wages for workers. It's ground up, bottom up, demand side as opposed to supply side economics. These are all of the things that we should be going back to. I've said it before, FDR was personally my favorite president. He did some fucked up shit too, but he won a fucking world war and got us out of the Great Depression. Pretty impressive stuff. But that is the direction that our party is heading into. As much as I love FDR for the things and the policies that he did, he was the anomaly. He was a class trader. He was from the wealthy elites, all the Rockefellers and the Carnegies and the Roosevelts, the old money family. And he was a traitor to his class. By going to all of his wealthy brethren going, sorry, y'all got to start paying taxes again, man. Shit is fucked up, and it's because of your greed. And we're kind of in that place right now, which is why the people like Graham Plattner are doing so well in Maine. It's because people are starting to see that it's not the Hispanic people out there. It's not the gays or the women or the trans or the people of color that is causing them the problems. It's the billionaire class. They see Donald Trump hobnobbing with all the wealthy elites. They see Donald Trump hobnobbing with all of the Silicon Valley tech bros too. Look, in my opinion, I think that this is the for lack of a better term, the left's version of the Tea Party. And we're coming on. And I also think that Donald Trump sees that shit, and he's actually kind of impressed with it, because he's like, look what they did. He had 1%, and then I turned around, he had 4%, and then he had 17%. I was like, this guy's a comer. I tell you, this guy right here, he's a comer. And it impressed Trump. Anyway, it was a really awesome thing. I wanted to finish off just by talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mentioned her earlier, and I just wanted to touch on the fact that she is retiring. Well, she's quitting, actually. She's not retiring. She's not even waiting till the end of her term. She is doing it January 5th in 2026. She's doing January 5th, 2026. And she would have been apropos if she'd have done it on January 6th. But I think the reason why she picked January 5th is because something due to her pension. I don't really give a shit about the pension, whatever, who cares? But at the same time, she is probably going to be the first in a long line of conservatives that are going to be getting out. Look, Donald Trump's policies are not good. The economy is going into the crapper. Health insurance prices are going to skyrocket. And this next election cycle, the Democrats are slated to win huge. I mean, it's going to be pretty brutal. If 2025's elections was any indication, this is going to be a massive loss for them. And them running in a losing race is not going to be a fun thing, all the while having to defend Donald Trump's extra nonsense, crazy shit. I mean, for fuck's sakes, he just did a deal with Russia to just basically is like, Russia, write me up a deal and I'll put my name on it and I'll say it's me. I mean, he gave them everything that they wanted. So, I mean, it's not like Donald Trump is very good at his job. Seriously. But Marjorie, she got her bag. She got paid. When I read this, I thought she was probably worth more than that. But, I mean, look, she got her money from her dad, the Taylor Construction Company, and she had something like $700,000 what her net worth was when she was running the first time. And she will have been in office for 5 years. And she went from $700,000 to $25 million. I guess she was following the Nancy Pelosi smart investment, insider trading nonsense. I mean, look, we've made it legal. And these guys write up the bills of things that are going to get passed. They also award contracts to places, and where Marjorie Taylor Greene has a construction company, I'm sure she was doing that as well, awarding friends and family and what have you these contracts that made them money. Also, the fact that she invested in a lot of stuff that was going to get federally funded, like Palantir. She made buckets of money off investing in Palantir. So she got paid. She's like, I mean, that's like, I don't know, 30 times more than 30 times her wealth. So she's in and out like the Vaseline salesman. She got paid and she's getting out now while the getting's good, because she knows that this is going to be bad. And I mean, everybody's speculating on what she's going to run for next. I mean, I think that she had her own little charm offensive tour that she went on The View and on CNN and a few other places, trying to act a little bit more normal. And after she's planted that I'm not a crazy Marjorie anymore, even though she is. Let's not get it twisted. I watched all 10 minutes of her I'm quitting speech, and she is very much still a very I hate the gays, I hate the trans. Oh, we got to have a lockdown border. I hate the browns. We got to get rid of all of the brown people. I believe in America first and America only, which is going to be her new branding. And they're moving away from MAGA to this AFAO, America First, America Only thing, which, by the way, has a lot of Nick Fuentes in it, if you know what I mean. But suffices to say, she is still very much a conservative. Don't let the calmer demeanor fool you. And it's very possible that she could be lining up for 2026 against Jon Ossoff. I don't know if her popularity would be there, but in a year from, I mean, look, in 6 months, she's going to have a book out. That's how they do it. They leave office, they write a book, they tell you about all the brave stuff they did and how everybody was putting upon them and all that shit. So I have no doubt that she'll have that. And then that will give her all of the time to get on TV and have all the interviews about her book tour. And then she can announce that she's running. It's possible, but she might be very well lining up for 2028. That's probably what it's going to be. This year is going to be exceedingly tough for the Republican Party, and I think that there are going to be more people that are going to be stepping down because of this. It's going to be difficult to be able to hold office, and even if you win, you're going to have to stick around for the last 2 years to defend Donald Trump. And right now, it's a very distinct possibility that with her leaving, the difference between the Democrats and the Republicans, the number difference is going to be smaller. I think it's like 218 to 215 or something like that, or 218 to 214. That's a much closer margin than it used to be. All it would take is a couple of people who are not happy with the direction Donald Trump is going, and then they would probably not get their bills passed, even though Republicans have already done all the bills they're going to do. They're going to cut taxes, they're going to deregulate, and that's all that they needed to do. And now they're just going to sit around on their thumbs and wait for Donald Trump to just tell them what to do, because that's what the Republican Congress does, whatever the dear leader says. But I think that she probably is lining up for a run somewhere down the line. And I mean, a lot of people are saying that Donald Trump would have gone after her, and it's very distinctly possible in the next year he would, keep picking on her, and that would be more difficult for her. But I still think she's in a red enough district and they like her. She gets lots of donations. I don't think that she was at any risk of losing her seat, but I think that she is making a political calculation to get the fuck out of Dodge before the whole thing blows up, because that's exactly what's going to happen. This next year is going to suck ass for the Republicans. It's going to suck ass for us too. The economy is going to be crap fucking tastic, man. But that is going to inspire a whole lot of people to go out to the polls and vote in 2026. And then once that happens, Donald Trump won't be able to do anything in the House. And all the Republicans who are hated right now and they're in power are going to be hated even more when they're out of power. It's good. They're going to be punching bags. So I can't blame Marjorie for leaving. If you're just looking at it from a political standpoint, she's making the right decision getting out of there. Although, all of the things that she said that she wanted to stand up for, like the Epstein files and the victims of Jeffrey Epstein, you're not going to be able to use your power anymore because you're quitting. I don't know. Whatever. I think it was just because the Zohran meeting happened that day and then her message came out that afternoon. It was just all of it happening in one day. It was just, my mind exploded. I was so impressed with it. By the way, rest in peace, Jimmy Cliff. You are a legend, without a doubt. Big fan of reggae music. I just wanted to say that because, he was one of the good ones and I dug him. Anyway, that's the show. I just wanted to get one out to you. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. I am going to probably call it quits today on the old... these piles are huge, man. What the fuck I'm gonna do with this shit? I got that one little wheelbarrow. That one little wheelbarrow is gonna have to handle all of this nonsense. Jesus Christ. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, I'll probably do another day of this. I'm going to be spending some time with family, hanging out, having a good time, eating some food, and I've got a few videos that I recorded before I left, so I'll probably drop those, even though news is a perishable item, and some of those will probably be, not spoiled, but you probably have already heard about them. But I'll put them out anyway, because fuck, why not? I recorded them. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday, and I will talk to you when I get back to town next week. Y'all have a great one, and happy Thanksgiving. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe. Keep rocking.